Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions JP, let's look at the December 1st update. It was announced the day before, so it was very sudden, very rapid. There's a YouTuber I like, Nolkeen Hank, and he's very funny. He was like, give us some more time between the announcement and the release. We barely have a chance to get to our loan sharks before the new Hatcher starts. I was like, oh my god. But we have news about the new unit, Xmas Vinera. EX job announcements for all the Christmas units, new and old, info about the next Trial of Reckoning, and then explanations and apologies about recent issues, and then let's talk about them in that order. But first, let's look at Vinera, Earth Element, Pugilist, Ninja, Spellblade. Strike units are definitely stepping up, but I haven't paid much attention to them yet. What interests me more about Xmas Vinera is her high magic attack resistance. It's 15%. High spirit, that gives at least 20 from what I saw. And then possibly good self buffs from the Spellblade subjob. That would make her one of the very few physical attackers good against magic users. But I wonder with Halloween Leela and Howlet running around, how much play she will really get. I will skip her, but then I'm skipping pulling all limited time units. And then we have the EX jobs announced for all 3 Christmas units. People on Twitter were crying out too soon, too fast. But in the case of the older Christmas units, it pretty much has to be now. And as for Vinera, I think also with the precedent set by Yuna and Auron, all limited time units going from now will also have EX jobs. The question is if the next non-limited time unit will have EX jobs from the start, but my guess there is yes. People would be hesitant to pull if the unit didn't have it. I don't like it either, but the EX job train is leaving the station, so it's get on or don't. I'm on for now, but I'm ready to jump if it starts getting ridiculous. And then here I wanted to talk about EX jobs in general, and I wanted to show all the various ways that we can work on them. First, there is this 9 step-up hatcher. I will pull this, but I'm going to put that in a different video. I don't know which one's going to come out first. But this gives you lots of materials that you need to raise those job levels beyond 15. And they give you a lot of shards for the units that now have access to EX jobs. There were similar hatchers for like Rob and Stern and other people when they got their EX jobs. And that was why I was able to get them to 120 in about a week. And then if we look at the Mog Shop, we can see under Friends, there are shards available for many of the EX job units. I'll use this to get Orudua to 120. I already have her in the barracks, but that will speed that up. And then I can work on Edude as well. I'm not going to do his EX jobs, but I can get him to 99 at least, and then get his Trustmaster. I want that evade. Then, under the Rainbow Unit coins, we have access to all of the units as usual. But also, there's a little bit of these limited time units. They're coin orb things. These are not shards. These are the orb coins that you use for job levels beyond 15. But since we're getting so many Rainbow Unit Mog coins from working on EX job units, I was able to work on Howlet and Rain. I'm working on Irudita right now. But yeah, I'm still going to have the Rainbow coins left over, so I can start working on a Skull, for example. Okay, and then finally we have the shop. There are more bundles here for like shards and awakening materials for the EX jobs. And then I'm going to get this one. This is a good deal actually, because 5,000 Vision Ore, I was going to spend the 6,000 anyway for 120 unit shards, preferably for Xmas Macherie. So I can get this at a discount, and then also get some awakening materials, so let's get that now while I still have some paid lapis. Alright, next we can talk about the Trial of Reckoning. First of all, I'll point out that by playing both Global and JP, I'm playing twice as many trials and raids as everyone else. But the Global Trial of Reckoning was easy. They gave out so many drops of the spear and bow that I got what I wanted pretty quickly. So now I can focus on JP. And I kind of want to go hard on this one because Tita's necklace, which is the craftable item, it gives critical damage up as a bonus ability, and that is the first accessory that can do that. And Rob, he really likes that, in addition to the dexterity that's on there. I'll try to do a level 120 review of Rob soon, and I'll talk about like critical and dexterity and all that in more detail. But if I can get at least a +4 of this necklace, that would be nice. +5 might be a bridge too far, but this is a limited time event, so they might make it easier. I haven't looked at the rewards and stuff yet. Okay, finally, let's look at the producer's letter. Usually this is about like future updates and stuff, but this time it was all about apologies and explanations/excuses. Again, there's been a lot of discussion about the nature of hatchers, programming, randomness, tables, conveyor belts, buckets, and poker, and that's all been fascinating. But again, the real issue here is perception. JP players have the perception that they can't trust the listed rates of the hatchers, and with the lack of communication from the company about this, there's then also the perception that the company does not care about making their players feel better or winning their trust back. They're just going to keep releasing new units and new hatchers and screw you, give us your money. But here we have a proper response to the uproar a full 2 weeks later, and that time frame is unacceptable in my opinion. Of course, you don't want to rush out a response before you really know what's going on, and you want to craft the message so it sounds right and addresses the issues. When a response is rushed out and it's wrong or insufficient, and you end up needing to put out a response to your own response, that's pretty bad. You look incompetent as a company, and I have seen that happen a few times. But if you take too long, and especially now with social media, the public can stir itself up, rumors can get around, people can get angrier and angrier and angrier about the issue. And then with the slow response, people can get angry about the lack of response. They don't feel respected or valued as customers. And then simply returning the spent vision ore is not going to fix that perception problem. 2 weeks is kind of ridiculous. That gave a lot of time for bad feelings to fester. I don't often say that Gumi should do anything. There are plenty of threads on Reddit that do say that. But they really should address stuff like this more quickly so things don't get out of hand in the community. Unfortunately, this is par for the course for Gumi. They wait until they were going to release a communication anyway, and then they do it then. This has happened many times in Brave Exvius, where they waited until like the monthly YouTube video to address a situation that started, a week or 2 weeks ago. And then in the meantime, everybody's just getting angrier and angrier. Gumi can't or won't adapt to the special circumstances of, bad situations, and that's just not good enough. But anyway, let's look at the letter here. Let's see, they say that there was a big error in their summon pool, and they inconvenienced their users, they made everybody worry. I guess that's one way you could put it. They've taken in a lot of opinions from the community. That's also another way to say it. And here they go into the explanation for what happened. Let's see. With the new update version 3, they tried a new system with the guaranteed UR polls, but before releasing this new system, they did not test it or debug it enough, and so that error occurred. Again, error is doing a lot of work here. There were quite a few people that guessed that this was the case, so there you go, just incompetence, not malice. But still not technically an error, which is the word that they used, unless they mean there was an error in their testing/debugging process, in which case, I guess, yes. But this does not restore my confidence in the company. Incompetence is not better than malice. I guess generally it is, but still, it doesn't mean that I can trust the rates of the hatcher. It's interesting that they specify it's a new system for just those hatchers, so that means all the previous hatchers had some other kind of system. So since those anniversary hatchers quite obviously used tables or buckets, that means all the previous hatchers didn't use those, or they did use some kind of version of them, but they were random enough that no one noticed. And then random enough is acceptable for me, and looking back on my 1 year of polls, I'm satisfied with the results. and I actually feel pretty lucky with how my pulls have gone. I never did more than 100 pulls for any one unit, and I only aimed and missed Halloween Leela with 50 pulls. But big picture, I'm fine with the rates, so I guess I'm fine with whatever system they have. But the anniversary hatcher rates were unacceptable. So we have an explanation, but do I trust this explanation? Again, we're dealing with a perception, and I just can't be 100%. Am I saying that this explanation is a lie? I don't know. I can't know. I mean, from the launch of the game, I couldn't be 100% on the published rates being accurate, but now I'm kind of filled with doubt. The only way to remove that doubt would be for the company to publish the code, and although games like Dokkan Battle have done that, I never expect in a million years for Gumi or Square to do this, so we can only take them on their word. As for how I feel personally about putting money into the game from now, actually with the fishy pull rates, it won't affect my thinking now where I am in the game. I was moving towards less pulling anyway, but now with EX Jobs I have all of these old units to work on, and so I don't have to consider the hatcher rates at all. If there is a new unit that I want to pull, I can stick to my previous way of limiting myself to just 50 or 100, and then if I don't get it, I can chalk it up to being in the wrong bucket, and then move on without having committed too much. But yeah, with the right mindset, and then with your account in a good place, you can be kind of immune to this hatcher rate nonsense like this. I feel like with EX Jobs, there are 3 ways to approach it. Approach 1 is to focus on awakening and leveling your existing units, and ignoring all new units. The upside of that is that it's less expensive, since a lot of the work is already done, and then you don't have to pull the hatcher as much. Downside is that those older units, even though if they get upgrades, they may be power crept more quickly than newer units. Approach 2 is to focus on the new units, and then tell your old units to take a hike. Upside of that is that you will better ride the wave of the meta. Downsides are it will be more expensive, and it also personally makes my heart hurt to ignore the older units that I still love using a lot. And then approach 3 is a mix of old and new. Maybe, depending on you, you can choose just the most usable units, or choose the units that you enjoy using, or just do everybody. But I'll be doing approach 1, where I focus on my old units. And then once all my old units are maxed, then I'll consider working on newer units. But if there are additional EX jobs in the future, like EX sub-jobs, which I expect, then I might be working on the same units for a long time, maybe years, and I would prefer that, actually. Okay, next we have an explanation about the evade nerf. I was actually okay with the nerf, because I felt that evade was powerful enough for long enough. It enjoyed the spotlight for a good amount of the life of this game, and it was fine for the pendulum to swing away from evade builds and teams. And I'm choosing the pendulum analogy for a reason, because I expect evade to come back in a big way at some later date, and then what they say here pretty much confirms that. But the timing of re-releasing that limited time luck vision card was pretty bad. Alright, and then finally they address the bug that happened with the vision abilities of the vision cards. That was handled fairly quickly, so that's fine. Okay, and then they apologize a lot. I don't know if there's any language in the world that is as good at apologizing as Japanese. Okay, so I think that'll do it for this video. Next video, although it might have already come out, will be my pulls in that 9 step-up hatcher. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.